everyone, and welcome to take 2 of us trying to review this film after Amelia ruined a perfectly good take. I am your host as ever, Purple Midnight 8, joined not by Morgan, but by Amelia this week. Why don't you say hello? Yes. Are we gonna get on with the review this time and not have you fuck it up?
I didn't fuck it up!
Yes, you did. Yeah, you say you're autistic in every review at least once. Probably. I haven't counted it. Just somebody make like a compilation of Amelia just going, I'm autistic, I've got an LD.
It's true.
Okay. Okay. No one asked for evidence. Anyway, we're here with... I know we've broken the sacred rule of reviews on this channel. We are covering a sequel before the original. Because Madam Fancy Pants doesn't like the original film as much as this, so she wanted to do this one instead.
No.
Sorry, why are we doing this one instead of the original? Oh, you used to watch it a lot with your mum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but she still wanted to cover this one anyway.
Yeah. Because this one's better.
I don't actually know what that was. That wasn't even... There was a weird noise that came from inside it. Doesn't matter anyway. This has gone completely off track. So yeah, we are covering Monsters University, the 2013 sequel, of course, to Monsters, Inc. The debatably best one, according to her. Yeah, but that's for everyone's own judgment. I've seen both films before we before we sat down to watch this to review it. I actually don't know which one I prefer more. I think definitely, but this one, they both have their own merits. I'll say that.
We did come up with an idea. Don't have... but then, like...
I do best monster, worst monster, but there's when you've got a film that's full of monsters, you can just go, that one over there, that pink one in the corner, having a wank.
Watch.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, of course, Monsters University, the sequel. God, this has gone off track. I'm half tempted to start again, but I won't. I've had this on DVD, but we watched it on Disney Plus. Have you had this on DVD before? Yeah. That took you that long to just go, yeah. And that didn't pick any of that up because you're going,
Let's make it movie stuff.
Oh, I apologise. I apologise that I needed somewhere to live. How selfish of me. Anyway, this of course is directed by Dan Scanlon and written by him, another chap named Dan, which must have been confusing, Dan Gerson and Robert L. Baird. I don't know. Can you say that it's directed by someone when it's an animation? It's not like there's a real dude like filming these monsters.
It takes a team.
Takes a team, and he's the leader of the team. But anyway, yeah. So you can watch this on Disney Plus as well as the original, I believe. We were just going through films, and Amelia was like, that one. So we're doing this one. That was the point. So we'll get in with our little discussion. Amelia, you got any more? I'm just gonna keep saying your name because it creeps you out. You got any more little thoughts you want to give?
Well, it bothers me, Mitchell, because they're all naked all the time, you know?
That was a good point. Is that they're all naked all the time, but there are clothes that they wear. Like there are hats, but also there are t-shirts and jumpers and stuff. But some just
Like, wear on thick.
it's like the classic scenario of how would a dog wear trousers? Would he have them on his front, like his back legs only, with it going over his ass, or would it be over all 4 paws? But clothes exist. That's bizarre. So, young Mike Wazowski arrives on his school's field trip to Monsters, Inc.'s scare floor. He and his classmates watch as the scarers arrive, which includes a gentleman named Frank McKay. This is essentially Mike's hero that got him into it. He is played by John Krasinski, I must add. Quiet Place, The Office, probably the most important. Not most important, the most recognised. That's fine, by the way, that ping.
They did watch the first one, even though they did the second one years later. That all links together.
Yeah, it all comes full circle. So Mike follows Frank into a door where on the other side they are inside of a kid's bedroom. Now, that sounds creepy out of context. The idea is, of course, if you're not familiar for whatever reason with these two films that have been out for fucking at least 10 years with the sequel, the screaming from monsters scaring children in a human world powers their city, I believe it is. This is why we should cover the fucking first one first, so I don't have to go over this. But obviously they go through the doors on the scare floor into the other world, which is basically our world, to scare children, and use their scream. This really fucked up now that I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's really dark. So they. Wally's just depressing and morbid.
Yeah, but it could be us.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the idea.
So,
And that film came out years ago.
There was another one called Soul, which was even.
Soul's the music one, isn't it? Disney, well, obviously Disney have a tendency of going into way too much, like, depressing shit in their films sometimes, like really depressing, like, undertones. But yeah, God, it's fucking depressing. So they hide from the parents, and Frank successfully scares the child, much to Mike's admiration. Frank is impressed by him following him after, and gifts Mike his Monsters University hat. So, several years later, I want to say, like, teenage Mike, or young adult Mike, played by Billy Crystal, arrives at MU, which is probably what I will be calling it for most of the film, where he gets registered and receives a tour of the campus. He becomes interested at a stall all about the Scare Games, a competition at the university.
I had a thought. But you gotta admire his determination, because also Disney is in a way saying that you should never give up, even if you think that you're not gonna make it.
Never give up on your dreams.
Because the amount of determination he has, even though he's not scary.
Yeah.
So even though it's really dark and there is like a positive message.
There always is for Disney, there's always a happy ending. So going to his dorm, he meets a young Randall, played of course by Steve Buscemi, his roommate who can turn invisible. Yeah, he's a bit of a dick in this one because he joins the... No, he is a dick.
I think it's my wife's like.
He's a prig. Anyway, the next day they go to their scare class taught by Mr. Knight, played by Alfred Molina. Probably most famous for being Dr. Octopus from the Spider-Man films. But, I didn't mention this when we were watching it, he was also in Solar Opposites.
What?
He played the Duke in season 1 and 2 when he was in The Wall. This dude. Alfred Molina. Yeah, so there you go. So we are big fans of Solar Opposites. We would, if they ever do a film, we would love to like review that. We 100% will. New season came out not that long ago. We fucking binged that in like a week. Sorry, no, less than a week, like a few days, because we just ended up watching a couple every day. Just gonna have a little sip.
I never would have watched Solar Opposites if I hadn't.
Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, let's just put this on, and now it's just like, oh, we're obsessed. Like, you should have seen, it was her reaction was just insane when she found out that a new series had been put on Disney Plus. She just, like, sprinted into the room, was like, Solar Opposites, Solar Opposites! Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare! So yeah, anyway, enough about Solar Opposites. We're on about this film. All that because we mentioned Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina? I don't know if that's his name now that I say it. It doesn't sound right. No, it is Alfred Molina. Okay. Before the Dean, Hard Scrabble, an absolute stubborn cow, played by Helen Mirren, disturbs him to explain that if they fail the ending exam, they will be removed from the course. After the Dean leaves, Sully, of course, played by John Goodman, Caroline, what the hell just happened and why did it say that the recording had temporarily stopped there? No, it seems fine. It seems fine. I think it was just a minor technical issue. I will restart from a second ago, just in case it didn't. So Hard Scrabble, played by Helen Mirren, disturbs him to explain that if they fail an exam, they will be removed from the course. After the Dean leaves, Sully, played by John Goodman, Cloverfield Lane, The Flintstones, Kong Skull Island. He's going to play that same character from Kong Skull Island in, I think it's Monarch. I think the TV series about that. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. So Sully is a popular student with a famous father. He arrives late to class, of course. That evening, Sully hides in Mike's room after stealing a mascot from another fraternity. The pig steals Frank's hat and flees. Frank, of course, Frank's hat being the one that Mike has from his little trip. So the pig flees, causing Mike and Sully to give chase. I must say, forgive us if we get a lot of terminology incorrect. We are not familiar with American university culture and terminology and all that shit.
I feel like the university side of it, they did down to a T when it came to like, what do they call them when you have like houses over there?
The male ones are fraternities, the female ones are sororities.
Yeah, so like, I just feel like I've seen some films. There's a film called Sorority Row.
Sorority Row?
Yeah, which is like Sisterhood of Mars.
Yeah, the sorority sisters are the house.
Oh, and what's the other one? Bad Neighbours. They had like sorority. Number 2 and number 1, I think.
Yeah, because they move in next door, don't they?
Yeah.
With Chloe, is it Chloe Grace Moretz or not? Yeah.
Really?
I'm sure we'll be able to find them again because I'm sure they'll be on like Netflix or something.
She's already
Anyway, so the pig lures them to a party at a frat house where Mike manages to trap it inside of a bin. The credit is given to Sully before Johnny Worthington, played by Nathan Fillion, big collaborator of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm sure we'll review that at some point. We'll get there at some point. There's a lot of films we have to do. We want to do, I should say. He takes Sully under his wing, pointing Mike towards some outcast students. Their house is called Uzma Kappa, I think, or OK for short. And their little theme song is We're OK. So they'll be referred to as OK. Mike continues to excel in his studies and classes while competing with Sully, who is not doing as well. Eventually the exam final comes, and after arguing with one another, Mike and Sully accidentally break Hard Scrabble's record-breaking scream canister. Hard Scrabble seemingly shows no feelings for them, but embarrasses Mike and Sully before kicking them from the course. Mike is put on a course for designing scream canisters alongside Sully, not Scully, that's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who continuously glares at him. Mike's reinvigorated to join the Scare Games, hosted by Claire and Brock, Aubrey Plaza and Tyler Labine. Tyler Labine, I think, he's in the first Escape Room. He's also in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I would love to cover that film, it's so fucking bizarre. Aubrey Plaza is such a familiar name, but I cannot pick... I cannot think of one that she's been in. I'm terrible. So yeah, he joins the Scare Games. Hard Scrabble makes a deal with him that if he wins, he can rejoin the program, or if he loses, he has to leave MU. Sully joins Mike and the Outcasts to qualify them. Mike and Sully go to their frat house called OK, as mentioned, where the team, Don, played by Joel Murray, the two Terrys, Sean Hayes and Dave Foley, Art, played by Charlie Day, your favourite. Charlie Day, of course, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, probably where most people are known from, and a character who's, I think his name is Squibbles, but people call him Squishy, Peter Sohn. The lights suddenly go out, so Mike and Sully go into the basement where they have an initiation, which is disturbed by Squishy's mother.
I thought this was. She just down.
Really loud laundry as he's trying to do his pledge. The next day, the house receives a letter which tells them to meet in a sewer for their first challenge. The first challenge is to race to the end of a tunnel. Press page down. I did it again. While avoiding spiked urchins scattered over the floor, of course, in the dark. However, later on, lights are around, so the in the dark bit didn't last very long. Mike and Sully hit with several of them, but make it. However, the rest of their team do not, making it through in last place.
The old.
Don,
yeah.
someone's dad, essentially.
Isn't he a bit old?
You would think. So that makes them lose, of course, and they get eliminated. However, another fraternity is discovered to have been cheating, allowing them to continue. In a second event, the teams have to retrieve their flags while remaining silent as to not disturb the librarian. Sully makes a run for it and retrieves their, tries to retrieve their flag, I should say, because Squishy gets it somehow. He can basically teleport. He's very quiet. So the team makes different noises to distract the librarian. They manage to outrun her and escape, beating one other team who weren't so lucky. They are invited to a party that night where they are surprisingly welcomed with open arms. Squishy, of course, spots a bored-looking Sully and manages to persuade him into dancing with him. It's the classic of the invisible lasso, and you pull him in. Johnny and this fraternity, which includes Randall now, I forgot to mention, but I'll put it here in the script, arrive to congratulate the teams, but they drop paint on OK and publicly humiliate them. I feel like this was an homage to Carrie with the blood after being all like, yay, you guys are great. And there's, oh fuck. Obviously, they wouldn't put blood in a kid's film. Saying that, there's probably plenty that have. Mike confronts Johnny for it, but the others admit defeat and are more than happy to give up. Mike, however, takes OK out to Monsters Inc., where they break in and spy on the scarers at work. The group bond and get inspired by famous faces, with Mike and Sully deciding to put aside their differences and work together. Why can't we be friends? Why can't... Yeah, I'm not singing too much. Unfortunately, security spots them, and they are forced to run for it, only just escaping to Squish's mother's car, who is listening to, death metal. I'll just sit here with my tunes. Yeah. This lovely, older woman just listens to death metal. It's brilliant. OK makes their own branded outfits and continue to practice over several days. In another event, they are tasked with not scaring teenagers in a maze, and they manage to come in second. One more event involves successfully hiding from a referee, in which they also come in second, leaving only them and Johnny's team in the final. After talking with Hardscrabble, Sully realises that Mike isn't scary, so he does his best to encourage him to try his hardest. The next day, the school gathers for the final event, where they have to participate in a simulator set to the highest difficulty. OK manages to outperform the other team until Mike is the last one to compete, managing to gain the courage to win the event for OK. Mike celebrates his victory afterwards by scaring the animatronic, which shoots up and scores the maximum points again. Mike discovers that Sully tampered with it to allow him to win the competition, as he didn't believe in him. It's Act 3, we've got to have the conflict between our protagonists. You'll realise that a lot with films. When it's in the last third, they've got to have some conflict that breaks the group up. It's very, common. So Mike, alongside the rest of OK, leaves Sully behind after overhearing the argument. Johnny speaks with Sully and returns his jacket to him, but Sully gives it back before going to speak with Hardscrabble and Mr. Knight, confessing to his tampering. Hardscrabble, as a result, expels him as an alarm sounds due to Mike breaking the school's door lab. Mike opens the door, entering a child's room to scare her, however the girl isn't afraid. Backing away, Mike realises he is inside of a camp cabin filled with other kids. Sully and the others manage to get past the guards and follow Mike in. Inside, Sully doesn't find Mike, who managed to escape from the children when the police arrived. Sully finds Mike on the edge of a lake, where Sully confesses to his failures before they are chased away by police, being unable to escape through the door due to Hardscrabble turning it off. Oh dear. Mike and Sully, I keep calling him Scully. Mike and Sully scare the officers, which powers up the door and fills up all of the scare canisters, allowing them to escape. Hazmat team arrives and takes Mike and Sully away, with Roz, of course, played by Bob Peterson, informing them that I will be watching them. Oh dear. I won't do the voice, it really fucking hurts. Do you want to do the voice? For Roz? It's the one that goes, I'm always watching.
I'm always watching. Please, I can't do it.
I thought I'd just publicly embarrass you, that's fine. It's pretty average for this channel. So, Mike and Sully return to OK to inform them that they've been expelled and that OK is allowed to join the scare course, alongside Don being engaged to Squishy's mother. Mike and Sully leave the campus and begin to head their separate ways before Sully chases after Mike's bus, where Hardscrabble appears. She tells them she is impressed by them and wishes them well in the future before leaving. And as I said to you, I can't wait for this character to never appear again. The two of them get jobs in the mailroom at Monsters Inc., which is worked by the Abominable Snowman, played by Pixar regular John Ratzenberger. You know the voice. And sometime later, the two of them become scarers on the floor. Oh, that's it. I thought I put something about the film ending, but here we are. So, of course, it links back to the events of the first film, which I'm sure we will cover sometime in the future, but for now, we will just do the sequel, prequel, all that good shit. So, babe, what were your thoughts?
I liked it.
Of course we liked it.
Obviously, it never get old for me, and I did that one first.
I think this one has less painful memories to it for you.
But even though we don't have it on, we still have it on.
Like, past that
I would
counts.
watch it again.
Of course. And I used to have this on DVD when I was very young, probably around, I want to say very young. This film came out when I was 12, so...
Is this a 52-year-old man?
I'm a 52-year-old man, everyone. I was very young 10 years ago, so I was 42 when this... Anyway, so, yeah, of course, Monsters University. I remember hearing that this film wasn't as popular as the first one, and realistically, you don't hear as much love for this as the first one gets. Like, people seem to forget about Monsters University, and it's a shame because it does hold up. Like, some of the humor is a bit outdated, but it's still consistent. And of course, Pixar and its animation continues to be exceptional. So, honestly, brilliant as always. So, those were our thoughts and our opinions on Monsters University. Thank you ever so much for listening. Apologies that we went on a bit of a hiatus for a little while. I started a new job, just settling in. I'm still trying to figure out how we could still be able to do these reviews alongside it. So I've got to work quite early. I'm out for most of the day and then I'm back. So it's just trying to figure a way out around it. So bear with us for now. I want to say don't get your hopes up for consistency on the scheduling. But we will do our very best to try and get out what we can. So just bear with us on that. So anyway, as mentioned at the top, I've been your host, Purple Midnight 8. Joined as ever by Amelia, the Obsidian Nook, Pal ASMR. We've had her links in the link tree alongside me and Morgan's. He will be back at some point. We've got more films that we're going to cover together because he is excited to be back, and I'm happy he is back as well. Because it's been nearly a full year since he was last here. So yeah, thank you once more, and we will see you in the next one.